Hey guys, it's me Rebecca. So today I'm gonna be doing my August wrap up where I'll be discussing everything I've read in August. As well, I will go over a bit of my September TBR and of the books I plan to read in September so far, and obviously everything else I read in September will be my September wrap up. So yeah, let's get started with the first book I finished in August, which was kind of a carryover from July, which was 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, translated by Gregory Wabasa. This follows the story of this town of Macondo and the history of the Biandia family. And we see how this town kind of transforms and goes through changes, whether that's like witnessing war, religious changes, and just general changes. And we see the life of this town, and as well like many generations of the Biandia family, and we do follow multiple generations of the family, some of which like got more, I guess, airtime than others in my opinion, and with a couple members of them you would get a few paragraphs of their life and what their end was, and as well I can see why people might have a hard time with this novel, because there seems at times that the previous generation will name the new generation the names of the previous generation. Like for example, what was his name? Ariano, I'm blanking on the second part of his name. But he has multiple sons. At one point, he has like 17 sons with different women, and they all have the same name. So I can see how that might be confusing, because it's like, because you are following one character who has this name, and then you're following another character who has the same name. So yeah, I can see why that might be confusing. And yeah. And overall, I spent the majority of this novel just feeling meh about it. Like, I didn't feel connected to any of the characters, to any events in this town. I mean, we do go for 100 years of this family and this town. And this novel is like over 400 pages, so yeah, like for most of it, it was a 3 star until I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything spoilery, but the very last page bumped it up to a 4 star because of something. Because this was all like prophesized by this one individual who wasn't exactly close to the people of this town, so it kind of makes sense. Like they weren't in this town a lot, and they did die, and it seems like that this person might have prophesied but not known the exact ways of this town or what would happen exactly. So that might have been why it was a bit distant. But yeah, overall, this novel was okay. I liked it, and I did give it a 4 star. And the next book I was able to finish in August was A Sunny Place for Shady People by Morena Enriquez, and this was translated by Megan McDowell. And this is a series of short stories following these women in Argentina as I'm gonna read the synopsis, as they face these kind of supernatural encounters, as they face the surreal and encounter terror, and yeah. And I did like in how some of the short stories that the real and surreal, like the line between them was almost blurry. And there was one story in here where this woman is facing like medical anxiety essentially, and she's worried about it because she hasn't been checked, and she's worried it might be something else. Like, I enjoyed that. But I would have to say my favorites were My Sad Dead, A Sunny Place for Shady People, and Black Eyes. Like, those were my favorite stories. So yeah, overall, I enjoyed this collection, and I'm giving it 4 stars. And yeah, and I'm sorry if this is awkward. I don't really know how to review short story collections. This because I don't really know it. And I should say this is an arc I won in a Goodreads giveaway. This does come out in September, so yeah. And the next book I finished was Queen Bee by Juno Dawson. This is a prequel to Juno Dawson's Her Majesty's Royal Coven trilogy, where we follow MB, who was the founder of the Coven initially, and we see all of the events that led up to her execution, and then the aftermath, where it is revealed that MB, someone in the Coven, betrayed her through witch hunters, and they have to do with the aftermath. They have to do with the witch hunters who are after them, the remaining members of the Coven, as well as the traitor to the Coven. And you also see MB's relationship with one of, I guess, her handladies named Grace, and I guess the love they have for one another, and the love that Anne has for her daughter, the love that the traitor has for Grace. Like, yeah, we just see all of this, I guess the politics of this time, and as well, I did like how, despite the fact, like, there are magical beings, they're not on the same page because they're magical beings. Like, there is still that line drawn between the rich and the poor, the privileged and the not so privileged, as well men and women. Like, yeah, overall, I just had a lot of fun with this, and I did give it a 5-star. And next, I will be The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. This follows the, I guess, oh my god, the ward of Bilbo, or his heir would be the precise term, a guy named, a hobbit named Frodo. And we see initially how Bilbo, he just gives everything to Frodo, the ring, a well, everything, and just leaves. And now the ring is now Frodo's responsibility, and we see as he goes on a journey to try and destroy the ring, he has to leave the Shire, and along the way he faces challenges, he gains acquaintances. Like, yeah, this is mainly an adventure story. Like, it's mainly about the journey that Frodo is taken with a few other hobbits, a elf, and other mythical creatures who Middle Earth. And yeah, and I really enjoyed the writing style. I just liked the, like, I guess, classical fantasy writing. I also liked seeing how the ring, as in African people, like with Bilbo, he did not want to be separated with the ring. Like, he was gonna almost be violent if he had to be separated from it, and as well the power that the ring might hold proves to be very desirable for certain characters. So yeah, I don't know, overall I like this, and I'm gonna give it a 4-star. Next book I read was The Cat Who Saved Books by Suzuki Natsukawa, and this was translated from the Japanese by Louise Helkawa. This is about this kid whose grandfather recently died, and he has to go live with this aunt, and his grandfather's bookstore will have to close because of this move. And this kid, he's someone who really loves his books. Like, he's not an outgoing person, he just wants to be with his books. He's kind of kid who's ignored in school. People often forget about him and whatnot. And one day this talking hat comes in and takes him on a few adventures. Like, tells him he needs his help. And we see how this kid goes to try and save the books. Like, there was one guy who's practically hoarding books to really show, like, kind of show that he is someone who's well read, he's someone who's people should look to see respect of. Like, kind of wants to use books to for his reputation. Like, he's someone who will read, like, I think it's 50,000-60,000 books a year, and he'll read them once and then put them in a bookcase, lock the bookcase up, and move on with it. And there's another where it's like this guy wants to have people read books as fast as possible, so he cuts up books to make them as short as possible. And there is one who kind of throws books off of the roof of his office building, like he works in a publishing office, and he wants to make books more accessible to people. And anyway, all of these books need to be saved by these individuals, and this boy who loves books is able to do so. And overall, I enjoyed this. I did give it a 4-star, but the thing is, I just didn't really feel connected to the story, didn't feel connected to the character himself. Like, he was this young teenage boy who and was getting close with a classmate of his. Like, overall, I did enjoy it, but I don't know, it's not my favorite thing, I don't know. But yeah, I just had fun with this one, and I did give it 4 stars. And the next book I read was Hex by Thomas Old Hoovit, and this was translated from the Dutch by Nancy Forrest Fire. I just realized I read a lot of translated books this month. That was unintentional, but this is about this town called Black Spring in upstate New York, and they are haunted by this figure called the Black Rock Witch, who is a 17th century woman whose eyes and mouth are shown shut. And she walks around the town, and she will disappear in your house randomly stay for hours. And the thing about this, it's keeping the people in this town trapped in town. Like, they're not able to move out of this town whatsoever without having this strong desire to kill themselves, essentially. Like, she has this power over them, and yeah, and the youth in this town, these teenage boys, they try and capture evidence of her, and they put it on this website to, like, as a place to gather all of this evidence about her, and they're planning on to release it to the world. Because the thing is, the town, they try everything in their power to not allow Catherine, the name of the witch, to be spread out to the rest of the world. And because they know that if people from the outside get a wind of Catherine, they will do something drastic, they will do something not good, and kind of destroy everything that the town's done to try and protect themselves from her. And I did like this book. I like seeing the town politics, how the council have different opinions on how to handle a situation compared to the leader of Hex, who is like the people who are the ones responsible for monitoring where Catherine is, monitoring the town, making sure that outsiders who do come into town don't get a wind of Catherine whatsoever. I like the town politics. I also like seeing the town seems to be stuck in the mindset of similar to 1666 in certain ways, or in other ways, like the people in the town, you can expect they don't like internet or anything like that. And towards the end of the book, you see, like, when something happens and Catherine has her full power back, how they react, like in a way, in like 1666, like it goes full on mob at certain points. It gets in such a chaos. And yeah, overall, I did like this. Though I do have to say, there's some language in here that's quite outdated. That was this, like, but yeah, I did like this. Also, one more thing is, you see the love a father has for his son that does play a big role in this novel, and the things that the main character Steve will do for his son to protect him. And yeah, And overall, I did enjoy this and I gave it a 4 star. And the last book I finished in August was The Inheritance of Arcadia Divina by J.R.R. Cordova. And this is about a woman named Arcadia. How did I just forget her name? I have no idea. But she calls back her children and her grandchildren back to her house, and they see that she is transforming into a tree. And we do go back to kind of the start of Arcadia's life and everything that led her up to ending up in Four River, to her again her magical abilities and whatnot. And we also see the complex of familial relationships and everything with that, and the secrets being kept and all of the reveals. So yeah, overall I did enjoy this novel, so yeah. But yeah, that is everything I've read in August and what I plan to read in September so far. Again, everything that I read in September will be in my September wrap-up. But I'm planning to start with The Art Thief by Michael Finkel, which I believe follows the story of this art thief who stole about $2 billion worth of art. And it's not because he wanted to sell them to make a profit. He just really loved art. Like, he didn't think he was, I guess, being appreciated enough in museums. So it's like he just wanted for his own collection to appreciate it himself. And yeah, I believe it just follows, like, me to see some of the heists he and his girlfriend do to get this art. So yeah, very much intrigued about that one, that non-fiction. And then after that, let me just move my hand because I'm afraid that YouTube will take down the video if I... Yeah, it's not about that still, but after I finish The Art Thief, I do plan to move on to Perfume by Patrick Susskind. Let me just see who translated this. And this was translated by John E. Woods, and this follows the story of this guy who was born without a scent, and he apprentices as a perfumer, and he quickly masters the ancient art of mixing flowers, herbs, and oils. But his quest to create the ultimate perfume leads him to commit a series of brutal murders until no woman can feel safe as his final horrifying secret is revealed. So yeah, I'm very much excited about this one. And every time I hear the premise of this one, I cannot help but think of that Criminal Minds episode where I think it was season 5, I want to say, one of the earlier seasons in Los Angeles, where this taxi driver, he kidnaps women and kills them for their scent. Like, he was obsessed with human scent. I don't know, but I'm very much intrigued about this one. I know it's like a different sort of story. But yeah. And that's everything I've read in August and what I plan to read in September so far. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below telling me what you've read recently. If you want to, please subscribe to this channel. And if you want to follow me on any social media, all those things are in the down bar below. I'll see you guys next time I post a video. Bye.